At the beginning of every year, I usually ask for a word or words, something I can meditate on, hold on to, be encouraged by, or maybe even a prophetic word from God. And this year, I got 2 words. And I've been thinking on them and wondering whether they're real or, what they really mean. But the more I think of them, the more I feel the need to record this moment. So the words I got for this year were endurance and enjoyment. And I think for me it means something, but I guess it might mean different things for different people. 2023 was in many ways a challenging year for me, and maybe it was for you, or maybe not. And I wonder if the word endurance refers to just staying faithful and enduring in the midst of challenge or hardship. Endurance is what makes a difference between a person with stamina and a person without. I guess endurance is what we see in long distance runners who can keep running and still somehow maintain the energy to do so. Endurance, for me, it's a scary word because in some ways I like instant gratification, I won't lie. And when I think of endurance, I think of the challenge of having to hold on despite difficulty, or hold on despite pain. Resilience. Resilience is one of those things that challenges us to rise up to a higher level. Endurance. So the word endurance came, and I'm still thinking on it. And I want to say to you, maybe you are also in a season that requires endurance, or maybe you're coming out of a season in which you have been enduring. But I believe God is saying to us, keep on enduring, keep the faith, keep on holding on. Even if you're still running or we are still running and we haven't reached the destination yet, we keep on running, we keep on enduring, and we keep on going, keeping in our sights the goal for which we are running, the thing to which God has called us, the promise God has given us, or the things that we are still asking God to clarify or to repair even, or to restore or to revive. We endure. We don't give up. We don't drop the towel. We don't even drop the mic. We endure. And then enjoyment. And I wondered, okay, does this mean these 2 words go together? Endurance with enjoyment? Endurance and enjoyment? Or endurance and enjoyment is to come? Maybe. But when I think of the word enjoyment, the first image I get in my head is maybe being in an all-inclusive resort or catching up on some recreational thing that I really love, or having a time where my heart is just filled with joy. Whatever that means for you, I want to encourage you that God has enjoyment in store for us this new year. Whether it be enjoyment in the midst of endurance, or enjoyment as we reach that destination, as we see that goal fulfilled, as we see that vision or that prophecy come to pass. Or whether it just be the enjoyment in taking every step of endurance, that even in the midst of taking steps that could be hard or even painful, yet we can still experience God's joy. I think in this context, enjoyment is more than just the gratification of the desires of my flesh. It's something deeper. It's the fulfillment of the joy of God in me, in us. And I remember what Jesus said in John 17, and it's in verse 13, as he was praying for believers and those who have chosen to trust in him. He prayed to God the Father and he said, I am coming to you now. By that he meant he was leaving this world and returning to the Father. But I say these things while I'm still in the world, so that they refers to his disciples, people who have chosen to believe in him and follow him. And Jesus said, while I'm still in the world, I say these things so that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. So that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. Now, in the context of the disciples who heard him pray this prayer, they were very much in the world, waiting for what Jesus had said, a time when he would be taken out of the world. It was a time of uncertainty. In fact, in some ways, very challenging and sad, because for some of them, they didn't understand what it would mean for this Savior who brought them so much hope to have to die. They didn't understand what it would mean for him to rise again from the dead. What would that look like? It was a time of maybe in some ways even confusion. But Jesus prayed that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. And I know he prays the same prayer for us. So, as we press on in 2024, I pray for grace and strength to endure unto the day of promise, endure unto the day of fulfillment of the vision and the word and the promise of God. I pray for enjoyment, joy in each step, to experience the pleasure of God in each situation, and that we may have the full measure of the joy of Jesus within us. So maybe you want to frown. I challenge you to remember these words and smile. Receive and embody the joy of Jesus. Even as we endure, even as we press on, his will, his wish, his prayer for us is that in the midst of all that, we are filled with the full measure of his joy. And I will say also that joy is coming. Greater joy. Not just the enduring joy, but a fulfillment joy. Joy is coming. For some of us, we will jubilate and we will celebrate in this year. And don't even hold back and don't feel guilty and don't feel self-conscious, because it is the promise of God that his joy comes. So let us take every opportunity, big and small, to express the full measure of his joy, whether it be in the midst of endurance or at the end of endurance. We will never have to stop enduring until we see him anyway. So while we are in this world, we will endure and we will enjoy. God bless.